orphan lost, soul found, nature's sister who's calling, fire, death, fighting freedom, create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest, noble left to see the world, map to find the key once lost, to save the many strengthened. Orphan lost, soul found, nature's sister who's calling, fire, death, fighting freedom, create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest, noble left to see the world, map to find the key once lost, to save the many strengthened.
Welcome back, everyone, to Followers of Mayhem. In the last episode, we all dashed against the baddie fella, the doctor. And after discussing it for a bit, the party decided to leave and are planning on trying to find some sort of scroll to send the message to a certain wizard. Whether they will continue to do so in this episode is entirely up to them. For now, you have landed on the docks, and after dropping you all off, including Crovers, the boat then began to sail away. It seems this was all of your final stops. Mittens is on Alar's back.
So, Corvus?
Yes.
Where are you heading off to now?
I'm taking an owl back north.
Alright. Well, thanks for everything you've done for us so far.
He nods.
And, don't forget about the letter, okay?
I won't.
Thanks.
Yeah, Rira nods as well and smiles at him and says, "Thanks so much for your help. We do appreciate it."
He nods. I'm just the messenger. And with a final bow, he turns and begins to head away from the dock. Not are they fast-paced, but he's just walking like he has all the time in the world.
I kind of bow back.
So, you're on the docks. And the city of Tandara. What do you do?
Alright, everybody. Anything you guys think need to get done right away before we head off to Shady Sands to check it out?
Does anyone know how to fold a paper crane?
What do I roll to see if we know how to fold a paper crane?
Intelligence.
I suppose.
Okay.
I suppose I may have folded the odd bird or two in a fit of boredom. Why?
I have heard somewhere there's a Henjokai city that sends messages via magical paper cranes. I was thinking I might be able to contact my master via that way, since I don't have sending yet.
That sounds rather helpful.
Well, okay. Rolling out. Okay, so straight intelligence, or would it be some manner of skill?
Straight intelligence is to see if you remember how.
Well, let's see if I know how in the first place. Okay.
Let's say you know how, but you're a little rusty.
Over here, I might be able to. Or you can let him do it. That works too.
Kagura, you of course know how to do it by heart. It was ingrained into you by your parents.
I was thinking more Kagura would have done it with his sister.
Yeah, or your sister.
Say, do you happen to know how to enchant the paper crane as well, or do you just only know how to fold it?
What? As much as I hate to admit it, but this is the first time hearing about any animation spell like that. So.
Okay, I guess I'll just have to give it a try. Thank you for showing me how it's done, though.
You're probably the best person in our group to try it, assuming it doesn't explode.
Yeah, it's asking a lot.
Speaking of explosions, and one of your members is now gone.
Well, looks like you're gonna be It looks like you're going to be all the muscle we have for today, Gazza.
I don't know whether to see that as a compliment or not.
For you, it might
Alex-
as well be a compliment.
But yeah, Alex just kind of like looks where Wolf was once standing, and then he says, "This has kind of been happening a lot recently. Does Tanuki like us or something?"
I hold up my hand and show him the ring of convenience. You don't know this?
Well, of course I know of it. I'm just saying it's been happening a lot to us pretty recently.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
If
I'm
we
rather
somehow-
upset by the idea of the trickster god liking us.
If we somehow had Tanuki's favor, that would explain it, and at least why why we still retained our memories of the time loop.
Well, Rura apparently is good friends with him, so I guess he just kind of is extending the favor to us.
But that's still frustratingly enough, that still doesn't explain why someone would want to would want to set us free from a slave pen.
That I don't know, but I do know that Tanuki's a nice guy. I mean, it's not like as if you do something on purpose. Yeah, for a laugh, but they're harmless pranks.
Well, anyway, if you guys need to get anything done, you best do it quick. We're not going to be staying here for much longer.
Oh, before you guys go, he does pulls out a note. You guys want to make sure I got everything on this one? The note appears to be, the basics of the time loop stuff. Making sure he has everything on it.
Okay.
Looks about right.
Okay.
Alright, well...
He then puts it back in his bag.
Alright, well, Grisor wanted to talk to me about something before we left, but due to how quickly we were moving, I kind of wasn't listening, so I'll pull her aside and talk privately on that one.
Very well.
So, are you ready to head out?
Yep.
Nothing else you want to do in the port?
What else is there to do in the port?
Nothing.
I don't
was
suppose.
just-
Oh, wait, I completely forgot. This was my plan. I forgot about this. It's been a week, I'm sorry. Alex, he quickly, finds who looks like the town guards or something like that, and he quickly asks them, have they heard anything strange coming out of Shady Sands recently?
The guard ponders for a moment and then says, "We don't really talk much with Shady Sands. Tends to cause the people who travel to and from here to become very nervous."
Well, I mean, I can't blame them.
But
I'm sorry if this is such an intrusive thing. I know it's a weird thing to ask out of the blue, but my companions and I are going to be heading up that ways, and we were wondering if there's anything we should keep an eye out for. Anything more than usual,
keep your hands on your pockets at all times.
Solid advice.
That's about all I got. I've never been there.
Alright, well, thank you very much for your time.
He nods, salutes, and heads back to his post.
Yeah, Rue looks a little nervous about going to Shady Sands. It's not always the best place to go to, but if we have to, we'll have to go there, I guess.
Look, all we need to do is get in, see where Last Sister is, and if we can pick up a trail that leads out of Shady Sands, we'll get out as quickly as we can.
Just for refresher purposes, that place is entirely Cleaver's dominion, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's Slave Trade Central.
Yeah,
Rura
which begs
shakes
the
her-
question, why the hell are we going there?
Rura shakes her head, no.
All I know.
I'll let Rura
All I
explain
know-
it.
All
we
I
were
know
kind
is
of
that-
like. She like holds up a finger. She goes, "No, not quite. Cleaver has no claim to that area."
all I know for sure is that it's the one place. It's the biggest nuisance when it comes to the Lundruck royal family's authority over all of Mayhem, more or less.
I personally never been up there myself because I'm not that stupid. Well, I wasn't that stupid until now, but you know.
We were kind of like looks offended by that, and she goes, "I've been there before."
Right. I didn't mean it like that. I just.
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, well, sometimes there's good information to get there, I guess. But the thing is, though, is it's one of the few places I kind of don't mind going to because it's run by the gentleman. Or so I've heard. I mean, I've never seen him. I just heard the name, but I'm not entirely sure. But that's why you don't have to worry about Cleaver. She looks to Kuzura, like with like a little smile. She goes, because that place is run by somebody else. You don't have to worry about Cleaver.
Well, he is hoping we can stay out of his way then. Alright.
So are you ready to go?
Quick question: is there a clothing shop in this town?
There would be, yes.
Grisera should probably stop and pick up a fresh disguise, considering how she failed miserably at disguising herself at somewhere.
Okay, well, how do
Just
you want to
one item.
disguise yourself?
My hair's too long to make me look like a boy.
I mean, I did say that Cleaver has no claim to the area, so you technically don't have to worry about a disguise.
He may have no claim, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have agents in the city.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to need a disguise, then chances are we all will. As we were just part of Cleaver's inventory recently.
I think maybe I'll just get a cowl that has a hood and a mask.
Alright, so you're able to procure a hood fairly easily, and it covers you pretty well. As for the mask, it takes you a little while to find one, but you find a general purpose porcelain. No, not porcelain, it'd be plastic kid's mask. It doesn't fit quite perfectly, but it does mask your face.
It'll do.
Alright, well, shall we be off then?
Sure.
Very well.
Let's go.
You begin the long travel. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Do you continue?
I'd
or
like
do
to
you...
try sending out paper cranes.
Alright. You throw the paper plane, it goes for a distance and then lands on the ground.
We're not playing crane.
Crane. Will still do the same thing. You take a brief break, about a short rest, and then you head on the rest of the distance. And around evening, just before the sun starts to set, you finally enter Shady Sands. However, at the gates to Shady Sands, you can see a halfling with brown hair and black eyes, wearing a simple hood. He is completely unassuming and plain, and seems to be discussing something with the guard before his attention is drawn to the Aarakocra in your party. And the polite smile on his face becomes slyer. Well, now there's a ranger I've not seen in a while. I was starting to wonder if you'd survived that little mishap on the mission. He gives a soft smirk, placing a hand on his hip. Glad to see a simple arrow wasn't enough to take you down from the sky. Rura, of course, knew this halfling, as Posco Brockhouse, a rogue mercenary that knew this city better than a rat knew the smell of sewage.
We were at first just our curiosity for a second, but then she like perks up, like, oh, I remember you.
I would think so. I know I'm meant to look unassuming, but that would offend me if you did not recognize me.
I almost remember everybody I've taken a job with. Well, kinda. But yeah, everybody, this is an old friend of mine. We did a job together a really long time ago.
He gives a bow and says, Posco Brockhouse.
So you're one of our old friends, eh?
Yes. Would you like a grand tour of Shady Sands? I happen to know this place quite well, you could say. I was born here.
As long as you don't go sneaking into our pockets, we'll be perfectly fine and happy with the tour. Give
me a perception roll.
Alright, give me a minute. Alright, perception. No, that's persuasion, not persuasion, sorry. They're all together.
Fail.
16.
Okay. Fiona, you would see Posco reach out a hand and lightly pat Alex on the back, and as his hand retreats, he is somehow holding the wallet, the coin bag of Alex, which he offers and says, "Oh, I would never. Though if you are going to, you should perhaps secure this a little better."
To which Alex just goes, "What the?" And he just swipes it back. Not funny.
Rua looks a little nervous. She goes, "Posco, please don't. I'm traveling with them right now."
Alright.
Alar just stifles a chuckle at that.
I just wanted them to realize that teasing the thief is not the best plan.
Okay, point made. I'm sorry, alright? Just been a hell of a few days.
He chuckles and waves an arm and says, "No need to apologize. So, would you like that tour?"
Yes, we would like it very much, wouldn't we, everybody?
Yeah, sure.
So,
better than wandering around this place without a clue.
Speaking of clue, and this time he looks to Kagura. I have a letter addressed to you.
Me?
And he holds out a small, sealed letter.
I take it from him asking, who in Mayhem's name would think to send a letter to me here?
He just shrugs. I'm glad to see you did not try to open it immediately. Whoever trained you clearly has some level of competency.
I'm sorry. What was that whole? What did you say?
You think I can't recognize another rogue when I see one?
I was actually directing that at you, Lala. That was out of character.
Sorry. He said, "I'm glad to see that you didn't immediately try to open it. Clearly your teacher must have some level of competency."
Yes, he does.
We're being trailed, I think. Better send the letter over here.
Well, I will lead you to a place where you can open it in privacy eventually. But for now, shall we get the tour underway?
I suppose.
Lead the way.
And with
Grizzler
that,
doesn't like this.
he begins to lead you into the city. Welcome, Shady Sands.
Totally legal shopping district.
Let me know when everything has loaded.
I'm just trying to find the characters right now.
There they
Top
are.
left.
Top.
At the top. By the way, you forgot to remove Sheikah.
Ah, yes.
There we are.
Really quick, Rua looks to Shren and she goes, is Shren still with us, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Just making sure. Yeah, she looks to Shren, she goes,
Yeah,
Shren,
like-
stay close to
Yeah.
me, please, okay? This place isn't exactly safe.
Sren
Yeah,
nods.
Vienna's like sort of kind of looking over her shoulder a bunch.
Bosco first motions to the red brick building. This is the gentleman's inn. If you want to sleep during the night without a worry of getting robbed, this is where you want to go.
Let me guess. You have to pay a fortune to sleep in it.
Security versus cost. And then he moves over to here and points. Now, this path leads down to the magic shop and the teleport circle. If you happen to know the spell teleport, you can easily go to and from here if you memorize it.
Useful.
So, he looks around a bit and then says, ah, yes. If you follow this path to the right, you will eventually get to the gladiatorial pit. We call it the fight pit.
Grisora tenses up at this.
And Vienna puts a hand on her shoulder. We are in no position to bring it down right now.
If you follow this road straight and then take a left and a right, you'll go to Back Alley Straight. It's the best place to do any business if you want it being kept quiet. Everyone there tends to keep to themselves, if you know what I mean.
Right.
He begins to move further down the street. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
And yeah, with one thing in hand, never far from my warhammer.
Fair enough. You'll notice a few others in the town are in the same posture as you are, and that they're keeping very careful. What were you gonna say, Grisora?
I was just gonna say after Vienna says her mace thing that Grisora grips her axes possessively and ready to chop off the first pickpocket's hands she feels.
So,
unless they're a kid, in that case
Okay.
she won't lift it.
okay. So, he points to a small ramp leading down into what seems to be some sort of underground tunnel system. That is the black market. We call it the totally legal shopping district.
Catchy name.
Oh, why would a black market be a totally illegal shopping district? That seems kind of odd.
Because this is
I'll have
Shady
to explain part
Sands.
to you later. Hey.
Pardon me for saying, but you lot need to learn a little more about subtlety.
This is Shady Sands. We are anything but subtle. And he snickers a bit. Now,
Clearly.
if you
Grisora
want...
looks to Kagra. They flaunt their illegality like a peacock. I don't think you can find any law-abiding citizen here, save for those who follow the gentleman. Okay, go ahead.
Now, if you want to get anything, and I do mean anything, the shopping district is the place you want to go. Now, if you're looking for something more or less likely to get you killed if it happens to be stolen, which it very much likely is if not cursed, we do have a general store, and I'm just going to boop it so you can see it. And further south, we have 2 more inns and a small flea market. And of course, if you need a boat, we are anything but giving. I'm sure you'll love the Dock Lord.
The more I stand here, the more welcomed I feel.
Rura kind of like looks a little uneasy, laughing with a smile. She goes, "Yeah, this place hasn't changed much."
And I believe that is the grand tour. So, is there somewhere I can escort you to? If you wished for somewhere secure to read your little letter there, the Gentleman's Inn has private rooms that are soundproofed with magical spells, and you can't get more secure than his rooms. Not in Shady Sands.
Right.
That might be for the best.
I'll try to keep that in mind. But I will have our funds to consider.
Of course.
Where can I find information at? Be the best place for.
Well, information can be purchased from literally anyone. If you know
But
the
where
right
do you find the
language.
right kind of information?
Well, what information are you looking for?
And Alex, gets down at eye level with him and he says, "We're looking for someone."
Would it perhaps be a centaur?
Maybe.
Gazura glares at the guy with suspicion. How did you know we were looking for a centaur?
The gladiatorial ring has already been informed of your intent to visit. If you want more answers, you will find them there.
Alright. Well, seems like some of us are gonna have to break off and head on over there.
Do you have any further questions?
I actually do have one for you. And Alex actually gets in close and gestures him closer to actually whisper something into his ears.
He moves closer as a bit, though his eyes briefly glance down to your pockets, and those with higher perception would see his fingers twitch briefly before relaxing.
Alright, well, I'm also in the market for some strange white shards. Have you seen any of those around? Have you seen someone carrying around as a lucky charm, maybe?
He blinks.
Faint magical aura?
He blinks a bit at that and leans back for a moment and then thinks, his mind scouring through a database of information that is in his head. Before he looks back up and he says, "I will look into it, but such a request will cost you, of course."
And what's your price?
Let's say 25 gold to look into it, alongside any fees that come up while procuring this information, since you are a friend of Rura.
Alex kind of sneers at this a little bit as if, to kind of insinuate that quote-unquote friend was still his base asking price, so he probably wasn't dropping it. At least that's his assumption. But
rolling on this guy to see if it was his asking price.
Sure.
So, 25 gold. Oh, that's 14.
Continue. You don't know.
Alright.
Well, you know he's genuine.
So, 25 to start the search, and you'll add on more costs depending on what you run into.
Well, to get information, you have to grease the whistles of some people. Rura herself can tell you this.
Yeah, Rura kind of gives a small smile with a shrug, saying, and she tells Alex, "Sorry, that's the way things are here. I may be a friend of Pascal's, but this is the way they live here. This is how it is."
How about we pay you something other than money?
I'm listening.
I got some nice herbs here. You might be well sell value over here. What would it be worth to you?
That is unfortunately not good. You see, to pay the people for the information I will be finding out for you, I need money. And while I'm sure those herbs fetch quite a decent price, they are something that I can easily gift to the generous people who are giving me the information.
Oh, it's worth a shot.
Never ventured, never gained.
To which Alex just shakes his head and says, "Ain't that the truth?" Alright, so 25 gold. That's your final offer?
25 gold to find the information, and depending on how much it costs, how much time it takes, that price will go up or down.
Everyone, you think we can afford that?
Go for it.
Sure.
Alright. To which, carefully he reaches to where the party funds are and he gives him the money. And he just says, "I'm counting on you on this, alright? I'm expecting you to deliver."
As the man seems to reach out for it, you watch the money float out of your hand and then vanish into nothing. And the thief smiles and says, "Of course, I know where to find you. Is there anything else you require of me?" And do mark that money off the treasure dock. You're no longer in the time loop.
Alright. I'll just add it to the list of expenses and we'll subtract the amount later.
Okay.
Minus 5 gold to pay informant. Alright.
So is there anything else I can do for you?
Not that I can think of. Anyone else?
Grisura shakes her head.
No.
Then I have
Alright.
just one final bit of business. And he steps over in front of Rura. He looks to her and he smiles and he says, "It really is good to see you." And he places a hand on your head and absolutely ruins your hairstyle. And then, with a poof, he's off.
Rue was about to smile and say, but then she goes, "Ah!" And she looks around like, "Where'd he go?" He always does that. She's trying to fix her hair now.
Alex stands on up and he's like, "Alright, well, looks like we know what we're doing here." Alright, so...
Doesn't he know how it is to get my feathers right? That's not fair.
Well, at least there's somebody here. At least there's someone around here you remember fondly.
Rura kind of laughs and she goes, "Well, I pass by here quite often for trying to get information when I have coin. He was one of the few nicer people that didn't. Well, no, he did try taking my coin before. Never mind. One of the few who didn't try a second time to take my coin."
Alright, well, who wants to break off and take a look at the fight pit?
I'll be heading over there personally.
Fair enough. Anyone else?
Why
I'll go.
why don't we all go? So we don't have to... Sorry. Sven immediately shuts up.
Yeah, not a good idea, sweetie.
As
We draw attention to
nice.
ourselves if we all went.
As nice as that would be, we're already drawing enough attention. I mean, look at us. We stand out worse than a sore thumb.
As you say that and look around, you realize no one is paying you a second glance.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rura kind of shrugs and says, "No one's really going to care unless we cause a scene.
In fact-
Everybody always comes over here.
In fact,
From all over the place."
In fact, as you
Okay,
glance
but
around,
let me put it this way.
guys,
Cleaver's right hand kind of has an extra grind with me now.
guys. In fact, as you look around, you realize that there is no two people that are the same race. At least at first as you look.
Yeah, River kind of shrugged at this too, like trying to sound convincing as she can. She goes, that's why I kind of like coming here. I mean, you might get robbed, but nobody really cares what you are or where you come from here.
Yeah, they only care. Yeah, they only care what they can get out of you.
Exactly.
Then I might recommend A, we try not to cause a scene, and B, we stick together.
Well, in that case, Grisora definitely shouldn't come.
I was gonna say, even though I hate the pits, I might as well see what exactly is going down.
Alright, so Allah, Grisura, and did Vienna say she would go? Sorry?
Yeah.
I'm
Alright,
pretty sure
and
everyone's
Vienna.
going.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Real quick though, before she goes, River looks to Sren. She goes, "Are you sure you'll be okay going to the ring, Sren?"
She grips the hem of your pants and just nods as she stays close like you told her to.
Okay, River smiles at her reassuringly, pats her head. She goes, "Yep, we're all going."
Alright, well, everyone keep close hands on your weapons, on your pouches, and, well, watch each other's backs. Stay on alert.
So, as you head down towards the fight pit, a few people do glance towards you, specifically towards your pockets. But when they realize that very nearly all of you are immediately noticing this, they quickly melt into the crowd and go away. You get the impression that the more experienced thieves know that you're not the kind of people that are going to let themselves get robbed.
Yeah. There are easier marks, probably.
So, I'm just gonna say you can all move over to the fight pit.
Yeah, I'm trying to make us go. Let's walk at least separately. So just make it kind of look like at least we're not in a group.
Fair enough.
Alright, well, I'll just sit right over here.
Let me know when you're ready.
We're here.
Alright. So,
Alright.
who wants to make first contact?
No,
I push Alex in front.
To which he just kind of he just gives Vienna a look, and he's like, "Oh, I see how it is."
You're the negotiator. Negotiate.
To which he puts on his game face, loosens himself up, and he approaches one of the guards.
The guards, when you approach, briefly share a glance, and then the one that has the unique icon looks to you all and says, "Ah, you must be the adventurers that we have been expecting."
I believe there might be a bit of a misunderstanding on that part, sir. We are not the adventurers that you are probably thinking of. We have no intention of going into the fight there. What?
Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're not the droids that
you're looking for.
Well, I mean, to be fair, one of my spells is suggestion, so I could totally pull that trick.
That Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, but
you're looking for.
Anyway,
Anyway,
back.
Calm down, everyone. Calm down.
The guard gives you a look and he says, No. The gentleman knew you would be heading here. And he asked me to not to...
Not
The
to what?
gentleman, he breathes in and he says, "The gentleman has made all areas of the gladiatorial ring open to the party with the two-tailed fox Hengen yokai, as a gesture of good faith."
I glare
Wait,
I glare
I
at Kagura.
Your boss knew we were coming?
Yes.
More or less, he knew you were coming.
We were kind of tenses up a little bit, having kind of like an unreadable look on our face, like the gentleman knew we were coming.
Grisura's like, I do not like this one bit. Not one bit at all.
Well, all right then. I mean, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth, I suppose.
Be careful, it could be a trap.
As you
I
look to
know.
your right, since I forgot to mention this while you were heading here, to your right you see a gladiatorial arena covered in vines and half ruined, and it's clearly not been used in some time. Half of it is falling to pieces, the seats are all rotted away. The gladiatorial ruins, right over here.
Yeah.
So, if you follow me,
Alright.
I will give you the tour of the fight pit. I am Harud.
Pleasure to meet you.
He nods. So, do you follow him?
Yep. To which,
Yes, so.
as Alex gestures him to lead the way, he just turns to everyone and he says, "Everyone, watch each other's backs."
Grisura nods and keeps close.
As you enter and are escorted, you pass by 2 hallways. The left leads to some sort of... Actually, let me just make this music. There we go. That's better. The left leads to some sort of jail cell housing a couple of prisoners. The other on your right leads to some sort of med bay. As you step further in, you see the ring. Well, it would be better to call it a cage more than anything. Around the cage are stone seats where a few people are currently sitting, watching the current fight between an orc and a bugbear. A few doors on the cage lead directly into the audience, alongside one that leads deeper back and splits into a left and right T intersection. After defeating the orc, a stretcher is brought out, which carried him down the right fork, while the bugbear opened the door, collected his winnings, and sat down with the second bugbear, chatting excitedly. Rude turns and looks at you. "Welcome to the fighting pit."
Seems a lot more like a fighting club than an actual gladiator ring.
He nods.
I mean, last place we saw, it just seemed like everyone was forced to do it. These guys seem like, and he looks to the bugbears who are chatting and do they actually sign up for this? They signed up for brackets?
He nods.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's better.
Yeah, this ring's a lot more different than where we were before.
As you can see, we at the Sandy Coliseum don't deal in slaves. We prefer to actually pay trained fighters. You get a better show.
Well, I suppose when people are not forced to do it and actually volunteer, you do get the more passionate fighters.
If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I am here to answer.
All right. Well, first question to get out of the way. This is gonna sound particularly weird because he looks to Alan, just he is turning in his head a little bit, and he says, "Have you seen Druid pass through here recently?"
I've not seen...
necessarily. Yeah, go.
I have not seen a druid. However, at the gentleman's request, we did put out a search, and after some time, one of our informers came back and told us that a druid was spotted at the area. A centaur
At the
druid,
where?
to be precise.
Where
The
did you
city.
spot her? The
Dairy.
city?
That's down south.
And you sure her last known location is there?
As far as we know, yes.
Alright. Well.
Do you know of her condition?
I do not.
Where did he say she was?
The Eyrie. The city of goblins.
Twitch,
Does that have a gladiator ring as well?
It does.
she seems to be going to places with fighting rings.
If she's being carted around as a slave, I'm not surprised.
Well,
She
Alar, I mean, what kind of a fighter was is your sister?
She was the one we turned to whenever there was an issue in the forest.
So that means she must be powerful.
Right. So can be relied upon to put on a show then.
Alright. Well, seems like we got our next big clue. Alex approaches the god once more and he says, Did the gentleman say that he expected anything in return? Because you said this was a show of faith, correct?
A gesture of good faith. And no. He just told us to make the fight pit available to you.
Rua looks a little uneasy and she glances to Kagra. Do you know the gentleman?
No, but I know of him. He's the
Mysterious crime figure.
Shady Sands is the most out of all the towns on this island, and Shady Sands is the one most independent from the royal family's authority. I've always assumed the gentleman has something to do with that.
Well, considering the influence he seems to have, it wouldn't surprise me. Alright.
The gentleman is the one who really runs Shady Sands. You will do best not to get on his bad side.
Well, I mean, when you have an entire...
A man with no face is much more scarier than a man with one.
I mean, when you have an entire inn named after you, I think it goes to show that you're probably an important person.
Rude nods.
Anyway. Harud, one last thing I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
This is kind of a bit more of a local question, I guess you could say, so maybe you can answer it. Oh, goodness, what was I gonna ask? Crap, I forgot the question. I am so sorry.
It's alright.
But yeah,
Swear.
I didn't. Never mind. Anyway, unless I remember it in the next few seconds, I think that's probably it for me.
He nods and he says, well, I only ask if you do return here, do not take your weapons out unless you're fighting in the pit.
What's the reward for fighting in the pit?
That sounds like a trap.
You're allowed to keep your weapons, just don't draw them.
Ah, fair enough. Oh, now I remember. Prude.
Yes?
Do you know of any local jobs that might be going around? Because, we might currently be damaging our funding a little bit.
Jobs travel by word of mouth here. If you are looking for a job, it will find you.
What's the reward for fighting in the pit?
Depends on how much you bet.
Grisera glares at Alar, as if she figured out what idea she had.
Rura kind of notices the glare and she goes, this ring looks different. I mean, I know how you feel, but I mean, it isn't like the other rings.
Free will fighting is not against the law here, Grazura. What's your issue?
Yeah, what she said. And then we were going to also, I mean, we could use the coin.
Actually,
You need money to get information here, so this might be a good idea to do, maybe.
actually, that's a good question. That's actually a very good question. What are the general rules? Like, are there specific sets of rules that people can bet on, or brackets or something?
There are two main brackets, so to speak. There is the regular fighting, and then there's the to the death grudge matches.
Okay, that's
what the jail cells are for. They're for the morality fighters that, well, when they take things too far, we lock them in the cell until they cool off and pay the fee for cleaning up their mess.
Gazera size. Is there a limit to how many fighters there should be? Is it 1-on-1 or
even
do we
sides? But typically we only get 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. The arena isn't very big.
Looks like it might fall apart anytime too.
Is magic allowed, or
magic and weapons are allowed?
So
to clarify,
once you get into the ring,
fighting takes place underground, not in the ruins.
All right, it takes place underground. I kind of thought that would be it. Right, so once the two people get into the ring, it's practically a free for all.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Sign-ups occur the day before, or very early in the morning, if you want to sign up for a fight that day.
All right. Well, I think that's all.
I motion everyone to a group huddle.
All right. Could you please excuse us for a minute?
He nods and he escorts you to the exit, and then he returns to his post.
All right. What is it?
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I hate this more than anything, save for Cleaver himself, would you be well with it if I fought in the pit?
Depends. How confident are you in that you'll win a fight?
Rura kind of holds up her hand and says, I don't think it's about her being confident in winning the fight. Maybe it's more whether she's okay with it.
I won't go to the death fights.
Oh no, I'd swore against it. I'd break your legs before you even sign up for one of those.
I like to see you try.
I won't have to. I've got a spell for that.
Please don't break legs. They don't grow back.
No, Sven. No one's gonna break legs. I promise.
It's all.
They said.
It's all.
It's just a figure of speech. Alex, please watch your language.
All right. Jeez.
Ara looks over to Serena and starts messing up her hair. It'll be okay, chap.
Everyone's laying into me today.
No, please don't do that. It's bad enough when Pascal messes my hair. Now you can mess up Sven's hair. She tries to help fix Sven's hair.
What are you talking about, Alex? Right. I haven't mentioned you and that Kenku once today.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Okay, calming down. All right. So
back to the subject at hand.
It was a good novel, by the way.
Back to the subject at hand. When I fought in somewhere, it's not about confidence. It's about the will to survive.
Well, that's kind of the difference here. These people are fighting because they want to. It's not about who's going to get out alive.
I don't want to, but when I have to, I have to. And if this place is really different from somewhere, I remember I can call on some contacts of mine. I can see if there's any other jobs for us to do to get money. But if there isn't, then I'll volunteer for the pit.
Alex thinks it's over for a minute, and then he just says, "My ruling would be we'll wait and see, but it's not up to me entirely."
Is it only one-on-one? I didn't get to hear that part very clearly.
Yeah, it's
1-on-1 or
one-on-one.
2-on-2.
I'll go with Grazura if that's the case, if it's going to be 2-on-2.
Yes, I was going to suggest maybe we do 2-on-2. I mean, this way, Grisera, you're not feeling alone this time.
I'll go with you.
2-on-2.
If we turn up early, we can sign up tomorrow, but it is getting late.
Yes, I want to
Yeah.
get in. I want to get in touch with my contacts first. See if there's any jobs.
Yes, and rest and food, especially if you guys are going to fight tomorrow. It's always best to
Not to mention,
be prepared.
Not to mention, for some who don't want to see the fight, I look at Rura and I keep calling her Sven.
Sren.
It's red, yeah.
Yes.
Just like R
Probably
instead of
because
V.
Ben is an actual name.
Yeah, anyway, I look to Rura and Grisera looks to Rura and Sven with that intention. You can find some jobs to fill the coin purses. But be on your guard. The last thing we want is to have our recently gotten gold pocketed by someone with sticky fingers.
Oh, okay.
Ruba looks a little uneasy, and she says, I don't think it's a good idea we split up. I mean, if Trent doesn't want to see, I guess I'll take her out for a little bit, but I still don't think it's good we leave.
That's why I said,
Could we at least get somewhere to stay first, so we know where to meet up?
I look. Who's the treasurer of the group?
We're all kind of the treasurer, but I'd say, so far it seems like we've all kind of just consulted with each other before we bought anything, but I would say those who are looking after the money is probably either probably Alex or maybe someone else.
I'd say Alex probably has it.
I was thinking Alex as well.
I was thinking middens.
To be fair.
Bad
Yeah.
idea. Bad idea.
I buy
no.
500 gold of catfish.
Let's.
Exactly. That's why it's a bad idea.
But
So-
yeah, so guess it seems like we're settled. Alex is the treasurer.
Well, let's set up shop at the Gentleman's Inn, see how much their prices are.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And something tells me that I won't be drinking at all during this, so expect me to be a bit cranky for not having a buzz.
Well, I mean, if you win tomorrow, then...
It's absolutely no different from normal.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Hey, when I'm drunk, I'm more mellow.
I disagree
No,
completely.
you're not.
All right, well, let's get moving, everyone.
Okay.
Alright, so
But
you
yeah,
will
before
head
we
towards...
before we ship off, I give the god a wave of see you later, and then I head off.
He nods. And you will head off?
Yep.
So you head straight to the inn?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Let me move Sren over. Okay. So. You enter the inn. It is filled with patrons and people, all comfortably enjoying their drinks. At one table rests a silver man here. He looks up as you enter and gives a warm smile towards a certain Arakokra in your group.
Ruru at first doesn't notice him at first until like a second later, and she noticed, and then she gasps and she puts her hands to her beak like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wait, another
Friend of
one of your
yours?
friends?
She kind of fidgets like she doesn't know what to do, whether to run or to like stand there in shock. That's
The man quietly chuckles as he watches this.
okay. She kind of like gets really, really excited, and then she like runs into the end without really thinking about it. And she almost leaps over the table over at him. She goes, "My savior!"
Hallelujah. It is so nice to see you. And he just opens his arms and pulls her into a hug right over the table.
Okay.
He sits you down on a seat and then chuckles. You've grown big in this time, have you not?
Yes. Maybe.
Nervous?
I mean, I can't believe you're here. I I don't know what happened to you. I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Should I do both?
He chuckles as he holds up a small napkin and he says, just in case.
She kind of like doesn't know what to do, and she just like hugs him and then nuzzles him as best she can.
He returns the hug and he says, well, are you going to introduce me to your friends?
She kind of sits up like, oh right, sorry guys, I got excited.
So I noticed.
It's probably the happiest I've seen you since we met.
Well, this is who raised me.
Oh yes.
Wait, you're Rura's dad?
Yeah?
Oh no, not biologically, no.
Yeah, Ruru looks a little confused, like, Dad?
Well, I mean, we've seen a furball being raised by Kenku, so it's not really that strange.
Yes. I suppose I am her adopted father. Anyway.
She looks kind of confused, and she goes, well, I guess. I mean, he's the one who saved me.
Okay, so he's more like a mentor. Okay.
Oh, you meant on the actual thing. Sorry, I put all the tokens on each page beforehand. I hadn't removed his yet. That's all.
All right.
Okay.
So you're the one we can thank for Rura being such a crack shot with a bow.
Yes, I told her everything she knows, and a few things she doesn't know.
I'm not that good still, but I try.
You'll get better, my little bird.
What did you say your name was?
Yes. I was going to say my name, but no. And he just places a hand gently on Rura's head. It doesn't ruffle the hair, just places it on her. I'm Elnath. Elnath's henchman. I'm a ranger, and I have been in this town looking for someone to assist with a small task I have.
You and everyone else, it seems.
We could assist you with that task.
Well, if you are certain of it, I
Yeah,
don't know what to
let's not-
impose. If it is...
Let's not go making any dedications until we hear the details, yeah?
He smiles, and he threads his hands together and leans forward, looking at the group, eyes slowly scanning over them. Before he gives another smile and he says, a small group of humans have holed up in a building, attempting what I don't know. But for more details, please follow me to a private room. I had it prepared just in case I managed to find a group that would hear me out.
Convenient.
What's the pay?
1,000 gold.
Split evenly?
just straight to you. You are a group of adventurers, are you not?
I would
Yeah.
imagine you need at least 500, don't you?
No. This is me paying you to do a job. He rises
Alright.
and looks towards Rura and says, "This way, all of you, and I shall explain what it is I ask of you."
Rura smiles happily and immediately gets up and follows right after him. But then she also stops. She goes, "Oh wait, Sren, come meet the person who helped me."
Oh, I will lay down to Zoran and whisper, he's kind of hot, go for it.
Sren immediately explodes bright red as the man kneels and gently pats her hair and says, "Hello there, Sren. It's a pleasure to meet you." Sren says nothing, and then she just pulls up her clothes and hides her face in them.
Rura just smiles fondly, like, "Aw."
She is very
And she goes,
adorable.
Isn't she?
She is a little like
Alright.
Good job, Seren. Keep it up. You might get him. Oh, I just get a thumbs up.
Alnath rises.
Stop like an Iran.
And he slowly leads
He's my
you.
savior first.
And he slowly leads you into a room. The room has 6 seats, one of which he does not take, preferring to stand at the foot.
Oh, wait, it did. But okay, never mind. Yeah, okay.
Rura gladly takes a seat, like kind of like a little bit more giddy now that she's with her savior. And real quick, she whips over and grabs Sren and puts her in her lap comfortably.
Sren is still turtling. Rizora?
Right here.
Okay. Once you're all in, the man gives a soft... Oh, let me put you in the seat. There you go. The man gives a soft flick, and the door creaks closed. Let me just draw a quick line so... Locked. Boom. Not perfect, but it'll do. He then looks to you all and says, "Now, on to business, I suppose. For 1,000 gold, if that is the payment you feel is applicable to this, I want you to do me a small favor, if you would."
No strings attached?
No strings attached at all.
Alright, so you say a group of humans are holed up in a house somewhere. Give us all the details you can.
What they are attempting, I do not know. And all I ask is that you find out what they want and what they're planning on doing.
So just get in, figure it out, and get out?
Precisely. Once I know what they're up to, your task is done.
Quick question.
Of course.
If we happen to bungle this up a little bit, what cost will there be if there's any collateral?
Well, you'll be paying for any collateral out of your own pocket, I presume. The payment is for the information.
Alright, fair enough. So, keep out of a fight as easily as we can. Well, as often as we can.
I know not your methods. I only mean to pay for them.
Yeah. We try to be sneaky. Doesn't often work, but we try to be sneaky.
I'm sure you will do fine. You have Rura with you after all. And he
Rura
once
kinda,
more
looks
smiles
nervous.
towards you. She is very good.
I try. I haven't had you for a teacher for a while.
You still
All right,
make
sir,
me
he's
proud
looking at
every
you.
day.
Well, to be fair, I think I have seen her aim improving ever since I met her.
We're a little bashful, like, oh, I don't know, maybe.
But I've only known her for, like, what, almost a week now?
Yes, well... Is there any other questions?
Who's the person you're going to sell this information to? Or is this just strictly on your dime?
On my behalf. If you haven't noticed, I am quite well off. I just wish to make sure they have no ill plans.
In a place like this, I would be surprised if not everyone in this town had some kind of scheme going on.
Yes, which is why you need to keep an eye on certain elements.
Everyone's got a plan. It's just whether or not they succeed.
Precisely. And I
So
need
these
to know
people are
their
a special
plan.
case.
Perhaps.
River looks a little nervous. She goes, what happens if they find us and try to attack us?
I'm sure you will take care of them with the best of your ability.
We're allowed to defend ourselves.
Yes, you are allowed to defend yourselves. And he chuckles.
River sighs softly, and then she goes, she looks to her savior and she goes, would you be able to watch Sven while we do this? I don't want her to get involved.
Of course, if you like, I can take care of her on a more permanent basis. Teach her a few tricks of the trade.
We'll discuss that later. Right now, we just need to look after her in the short term.
Of course. I will be here. My room number is number 7.
God, he's so cool. It's alright, go for it.
My
Twitch
savior.
funny enough, Alex rolls his eyes at this a little bit, but you can't. Those of you who've got high enough perception can probably realize that he's a little bit jealous.
Alar always snickers loudly.
Yeah. Vierna does notice that in Alex, and she is doing her best to hide a shit-eating grin.
I don't
Alright,
think Gazura notices.
Alright, so...
Yeah,
get
River
in.
doesn't. She's just happy to see her savior.
Alright, so get in, figure out what they're doing, get out, and tell you. That the deal?
Yes. You'll find there's no guards to apprehend you if you cause trouble. Though if you make too loud a ruckus, and he puts up some air quotes, guards will quietly escort you to pay the fee to rebuild.
Twitch up. Alex, he kind of gulps and he says, we can't screw this up if we take this job, everyone. Our funds are already low enough as it is.
If you succeed, then you will be a little better off, will you not? Now, you will have this room, and I will be heading upstairs. It would not be best for us to be seen for too long together, at least before this mission.
Is this room secure?
Of course. The gentleman makes sure all rooms, once the door are closed, are completely soundproof. If you do not believe me, I'm sure one of you has detect magic.
Which, yeah, like, I'm sure at this point everyone just immediately looks over to Dennis.
Right, so, yeah, I assume he's staying behind to guard the room, right?
So, Dennis, as you are looked at by everyone and you cast a spell, your eyes begin to glow as you look around and you see at the very top of the walls of the room, there's runes that are scrawled in magic along it, and on the roof and on the floor. You will need to roll an Arcana. Rolling?
Waiting for roll 20.
I'd say you have advantage because you are a wizard. So an 18
Okay.
will do it. While you don't specialize in runes. Oh wait, yes you do. You do specialize in runes, so yeah, you would definitely have advantage because you're planning the thingy. So
Yes.
you recognize the runes as some sort of spell that does exactly like he says. Make sure no sound passes through it. Similar to Lehman's tiny hut, except while that spell doesn't allow anything to pass through, this just stops sound.
It's like he says, the room is secure.
Good.
Good.
Just double checking. Is it secure against divination as well, or is it just sound?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, this is my savior, so of course he would be right. I never doubt his word.
You always put so much faith in me. It's flattering, really.
Of course. You never let me down yet.
I try.
Alright,
It would
well...
be what man would I be if I didn't keep my promise?
Insight.
Okay, roll it.
$17.
He's being honest. He believes that all men should be able to keep their promises.
Okay, well, that means he's probably not lying, which means the other option is he's probably going to die soon.
What?
You know what happens to mentors in fiction. Either they die or they turn out to be evil.
How dare you?
Is Vierna saying this out loud?
No.
Yeah, I figured as much, but still, no, don't.
With that
Alright,
said,
well-
I should be heading out so you have time to converse and discuss. He places down a small piece of paper with a map and he says, "This is the location. How you tackle this is up to you." And then he smiles and he says, "I'm sure you'll do wonderfully."
Olara
Yes.
whispers just,
Go on.
River kind of deflates that he has to leave, but then she smiles at him like, if we do the job, we'll do it well. I promise.
I'll be in room 7 when you finish. Then we can spend some quality time together. And he gives you one final hug. And briefly looks at Alara and he says, Your race is just so majestic. It is nice
Alara-
to see one.
Alara just like stood in place and just looked away with her cheeks rosy red and just like,
With
he
that,
talked to me.
he heads to the
River
door.
kind of like, River kind of looks at him like, Savior, stop flirting. I'm so sorry. He's always like that.
Go get him, Seren.
He turns and then he gives a bow and he says, "Good luck. My faith goes with you." And with that, he opens the door. Let me just open the door. Boom. And he heads on out and up the stairs.
River kind of like looks really, really happy now. A little bit more like how she usually is. How she's like swinging back and forth in the chair, like, I saw him. I can't believe he's still alive. I'm so
Also,
happy.
because I forgot, he also took Sren with him.
Alara shout out, Seren, remember your training.
River looks, Alara, she's just a kid.
Don't worry, she's a growing woman.
Oh goodness! And Alex just comes over here and immediately shuts the door, just so like no one else can hear this embarrassment.
Alright, you shut the door. Good time.
Okay.
You still have a letter.
Yeah,
Okay, so sneaking into a house. This sounds like a one-man job. Like, this is not a job for 7 people at once.
3, maybe 4, possibly. Not all of us.
So you're saying we should split up and try to do 2 different jobs?
We were kind of jolted that she goes, may not be very smart to split up. Don't forget, we're still in shady sands.
What we could do
Yeah,
is
but
we could just have
one person breaking into a house can be inconspicuous.
What I was thinking is that everyone goes there, and then one person goes in, the others are just there in case things catch fire.
Wait, do we
If
have
you're
the same
anywhere
stuff?
near the place, Dennis, something is going to catch fire.
Was a lot.
As you said this, he looks curiously at the paper crane in his hands. And then he decides to try enchanting it.
It explodes into flames. Kagura, you're in a soundproof room. Do you open the letter?
Yes.
It's a trap.
What you read is this. Now, if you're hiding it from everyone else, just say you are, and then they have to roll perception or whatever.
Yeah, I am trying to hide this.
Okay. So if
What'd it say?
Out of character. Okay, I'm gonna roll perception. Vienna's gonna roll perception to see that.
Okay.
I just asked.
Yeah, Alex is just firmly on the it's his letter. I really have no right to figure it out.
17.
If he wants to share it, he'll share it.
All right. I'd say that would be contested with either your sleight of hand or stealth, Kagura.
Lala?
Yes.
Sorry, just real quick, I just noticed it says Kitai's note.
Yes. That's
I'm
what I was
sorry.
thinking.
Whoops.
Sorry, I just thought I would.
Yeah, I was like, I was just wondering if. Wait,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I'm sorry. They
Yeah,
both start with a K.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
they both have
Anyway.
the same last name.
you said
Anyway.
either stealth or sleight of hand?
Yep. You do not see it, Vienna.
I'm just
Okay.
one over on both.
Yeah.
Or
In that case, out of character, that looks like code talk to me.
Kagura? Rura asked you what was on the letter.
Yep.
right? If I'm being blunt here, it's just looks like just nonsense to me.
Really?
Well,
Is it not from somebody you know?
Inside.
There is no name.
River kind of perks up like a secret admirer.
Like, is he trying to hide something?
Kagura, that would be a deception or no roll if you aren't hiding. But that's your last roll, Vienna. No one else can roll inside. So, roll a deception. Sorry.
If this is a secret admirer, or then they sure don't if this is from a secret admirer, or they know how to word a letter without saying anything about me.
That's weird. The letter's to you, but then it's not to you?
Yes, Kagura is a rogue.
Did I just hear a kitty?
So, what do you do?
which,
Yeah, Kagura knows thieves can.
to which, yeah, Alex says, so what? Can you make heads or tails of it or not?
I
Go on.
doesn't look like I can. I'm going to. I guess looks like I'm going to have to ask that fellow who gave this to me. What's going on? Maybe maybe they can actually. Maybe can actually confront the person who sent this directly. See if they're as mental as this letter suggests.
Pascal? Well, he's still getting the information for Alex, so I guess in the time being, we could probably do the job my savior asked us.
Well, if he's already doing business with us, then he shouldn't be business for us. Then he shouldn't be too hard to get in touch with.
Oh yeah, he'll be able to get the information pretty easy, as long as, of course, we get the coin. I mean, if we do this job, we might actually be able to afford that and the information, as well as stay at the inn.
Well, she's got a fair point. He did say it's pretty expensive to stay in here, despite its safety. So maybe...
I'll tell you guys what. We'll take care of Rura's friend's business, and then when we got our coin from him, and we're ready to pay Posco, then I'll have my chance.
Alright, sounds fair. What do the rest of you think?
Rura just smiles and she goes, I really want to make my savior happy, so I'm down for doing this.
You call him that a lot, I've noticed.
Call what?
Your friend there. You keep calling him your savior, and I know maybe it's true because it seems like it is true, but I mean he has a name.
Rura kind of looks a little like nervous, scratching the side of her head, and she goes, I was kind of young. I couldn't pronounce his name very well when he found me, so I kind of just called him my savior, and it's kind of just stuck.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, everyone in agreement. We're gonna check out what it is he wants us to look at.
Yeah. Maybe just
Yeah, Fiona?
You
Yeah.
cut out.
I said, I'm thinking just Kagura sneaks in.
Well,
It
we'll
would-
figure it out.
It would be the logical choice.
I have no issues with trying to sneak into a house on my own, but I would feel better if I had backup.
I can well shape into a small creature and help with them.
I can back you up in a way, I just won't be physically there.
Yeah, Rura kind of holds up her hand like, I can fly.
So,
Well, seeing as we're all in agreement, Alex undoes the map and he looks at it.
Alright. I'm just gonna remove that so I don't forget it, but the door is closed. So, moving back to the Shady Sands map, if you scroll out and look right down to the bottom-ish, I'm going to draw a circle. Circle is Alt on the building.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Ah, there it is.
I don't see it yet.
Down the bottom.
Here we go.
There we go. I see it now.
Right, let me just put that there, and I will switch you back to the gentleman map.
To which Alex looks over and he says it's pretty close to the docks.
Maybe scout out the area beforehand.
Yeah, that might be best. Always
Yeah.
good to make sure what we're going against.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Considering where it's positioned, it's not like we can hide and wait for a signal. We're gonna stand out.
So, you all gonna head down?
Yep.
Well, it's nearly nighttime, so if we're going to pull a job like this, it's probably no better time.
Alright. So, you step on out, and begin to head down.
But yeah, of course, like keeping an eye on each other, even in like as it's getting dark out, so like none of us get filched.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you all head down.
Yeah.
The black circle that marks it.
Yeah, maybe not all clustered together. Like, we should try not to be obvious.
Alrighty. So, regardless, you all head there. Kagura, do you approach the front?
Hold on, hold on. Chrome crashed, so
Okay. I'll move your token
Well,
up.
either way,
I need
before he goes in, I cast Cat's Grace on him.
Okay. Advantage on dexterity checks.
He is now immune to fall damage from a distance of 20 feet or less, and he has advantage on all dexterity checks.
Okay.
AKA stealth, thieves' tools, sleight of hand, things
Right.
he's gonna need.
Gotcha.
And then I'm going to be anywhere else but here, looking real casual, like I was never anywhere near there.
Alright. So, Kagura, do you approach the front?
yes, I do. I'm guessing
Yes.
I'm guessing you're gonna tell me to roll a stealth check at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have a small creature?
Son of a.
You have advantage. You have advantage. Cat's Grace.
Oh, right.
Well, taking that first roll because you already rolled it first.
Well, it's still a 17
Yes.
though. I'm still good.
So you are relatively certain that no one has seen you duck into the corner between the houses. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna look for like any I'm gonna look see if there are any windows those around, and like something I could peer through.
There are no windows, but there is a back door.
Is a certain weasel accompanying him?
Hello?
No,
Because I remember someone saying that they would accompany as something.
I would, but we just never agreed on it, so I didn't do it.
Okay, I'm going to try to reach the back door, or am I going to have to climb up to it, or?
Okay, let me just move you over to this map. Okay? Give me a second. I need to close the door.
Oh wait, and just to make sure he can signal us. I gave Kagura one part of the pairing of the stones, the walkie-talkie stones.
The sending stones.
Sending
Alright.
stones.
Yeah, and
I gave one
to be clear, we
Who's
are
the other
not
one?
clustered up like this. We are like scattered around the house.
No problem. I'm just putting that there so you can see what
Also,
you're looking
Shikon
at.
shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I know you're not there. It's just so you can see what's there.
Okay.
Okay. So Kagura, that's the front door, and the back door is all the way around here.
All right.
Is Dennis following you? Because if he is, he's
You
gonna...
said we're not here and we're just watching, right?
Ah, yes, that is right. You can move your tokens as you will then. Sorry.
Yeah,
If you want to see what's happening, you can also just look at the Twitch stream. Anyway, Kagura?
yeah, right now I'm just following Kagura.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm pretty sure this is closest to where my character actually is in game right now, so...
Okay.
I'm going to approach the back door. And lightly test it. I'm trying to not make any noise here.
It's open.
Kagura gives a gives a suspicious thinking this is thinking that's too easy. So he still like lightly opens it, see if there's paying close attention for any surprises. Maybe somebody is closely watching the door, which case he's already screwed. But either or, at least he's prepared.
Let's see. What is your perception? It's 13.
It's
okay.
my passive perception. Yeah, 13.
So you step through the door, and your foot breaks a small, thin silver line.
Oh dear.
So, let me just, boom. You open the door to see a woman, a human, though the image is tiefling, a human turn and look straight at you.
Wait, so I didn't. How high would a passive perception have had to have been to notice the tripwire?
15 would have done it.
Oh, I should have came.
It was the
Who in the
alarm.
world?
It was the spell.
Who in the world would have a? Oh, who would have a passive perception of 15 at this level?
I do.
Let's
I have
see.
16.
Fiona, Shikon, Ella, Alex, Rizura, Rira, all
Wait,
have
wouldn't
15 or higher.
Come to think of it, wasn't Alar planning to come with me in the form of
She
a small
didn't
animal?
in the end, though. Anyway,
Oh.
moving on.
Alright.
You see her looking right at you. What do you do?
I just simply say, Aiden, I wasn't expecting anybody to be in here. Here, the door was unlocked, so.
The woman smiles and says, "Oh, you're..." And she turns and says, "Harry! Harry, he found us!" And another person comes through and smiles and he says, "You found us! It's me, Harry, from the letter."
Oh, yeah. I did. I almost forgot about that, actually.
I'm glad you found us. I figured you'd find us with, So, do you have any friends? Cause, we shouldn't talk with the door open. If you bring them in, we're gonna explain the situation.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Great. Bring them in and I'll explain why we called you over here.
Alright,
You watch the, woman begin to slowly set up the silver thread again and says, "And try to avoid the alarm spell. It costs a lot to set up."
Noted. Change of plans, guys. They already knew we were coming.
Huh?
They're not hostile.
Gerzera raises her arms in the air and is frustrated. First the gentleman knows we're here, now these weirdos? How the hell do these people know who we are? And why are they expecting us?
Yeah,
They,
Rua
of
looks
course-
confused at Kagura, like, do you know them?
They of course hear this shout and say, "You haven't seen the newspaper?"
What?
You cut out.
They of course hear this and the mage says, "You haven't seen the newspaper?"
Newspaper? What newspaper?
Get in here and stop shouting and we'll show you it.
Oh no.
Fantastic. His newspaper.
So once everyone is in, they close the door, and I'm just going to boop boop, and it's closed. Technically.
Gerzera is thinking the whole time that there's human sacrifice involved, so she's on her guard.
Alright. So Harry steps forward and says, "So, well, I guess first I should show you that newspaper since you seem to be a bit confused about that." And he offers he offers a newspaper. It's a newspaper Shady Sands runs called New Heroes Weekly. it basically, it's, well, there you go. Enjoy.
Small blurb under the title reads, "The latest of adventures by criminals for criminals. The followers, called after the fact that they're following some sort of trail leading to Colosseums. Adventurers were spotted grouping in the town of Nowhere just south of somewhere. The group consists of a white-haired henge yokai with red eyes, a blue fox yokai, a drow with silver-white hair, a centaur with black hair, a half-orc claimed to be the one who cleaves,
Claimed by.
a human with green... claimed by the one who cleaves. Sorry, I'm reading this too quickly. A human with green eyes and an Arakakwa, bird person, think yokai, but birdier. This group took care of 2 outposts set up by the small-time bandits, the Kill Us gang, who ironically survived long enough to disband shortly after. Alright. After the party moved south, they were then able to make contact with the messenger, who sailed them to the land that time forgot and is expected to land in Tundera. Recommended, avoid. This group is highly skilled in both melee and ranged and area of effect. If you must combat the followers, do so from a distance and from an enclosed space if possible. The Arakakwa is what's that word, sorry? Flyer is able to fly a lot farther and faster than you can prepare for. Stay spread out and use numbers. In other news, Crown Prince still missing.
And that dumbass again.
It has been more than 1 week since the apparent heir of Lundrick Castle thrown Prince
Continue.
What Prince Nithwa is that how you pronounce it?
No one really knows. The only one who knows how to pronounce it is probably the Crown Prince himself.
Fair enough. Seemingly vanished from his room. How he disappeared or why is unknown, but has last seen attending dinner with the rest of the royal family and a business associate that night. All potentially knowing parties, including the prince's own little sister, Emeriel Nethwal, I hate trying to sound out these names, have been questioned with none providing any leads as to his location. Noble Queen Elizabeth did note the prince displaying clear signs of restlessness leading up to his disappearance, but whether this is connected at all is unclear. While the search is ongoing, Emeriel has been selected to inherit the throne upon coming of age until further notice. Wanted, one known with blonde hair and blue eyes, for killing the family in the area and taking their valuables by the king of the air, pronounced heir. Reward 500 gold, dead, 700 alive.
Okay, I'm taking a very... Okay, the whole time Alex is reading out that one about the missing prince, I'm rolling inside on Kagura. Let me put it that way.
Well, it's Kagura?
Just see if he makes any kind of reaction.
Well, that's up to Kagura.
Kagura is just looking over. Kagura is just looking over. Kagura is just looking over Alex's shoulder, looking at the newspaper over Alex's shoulder with a stern look on his face. He looks particularly lost in thought.
Okay.
To which Alex just
Fiona will say nothing.
Okay.
Alex just like looks to the person who handed him the mail and he's like, the followers? Really? That's what they're calling us?
Well, when one of the informants apparently tried to get a name from you, you never gave one, so they just started calling you the followers.
Yeah.
Wait. Someone approached us about a name? Who was that?
I don't know.
To it, and Alex just hands back the newspaper and says, "Well, this is certainly yeah.
So
not good."
Where in the world did they come up with the followers? We're not following anything.
You've been going
We're following
from
some sort of
Colosseum.
trail.
You've been going from Colosseum to Colosseum. They assume
We
that
have
you're
literally
following
only
some-
been to 2 of the damn things. And one of
That's
them was
still
not by...
two more than most. We're getting off topic though. So
Yeah.
as you know, Kagura, I am Harry. Harry, yes, Harry. So, I have a job for you, if you would like to take it.
I'd like to hear it first, at least.
Of course. It was just I didn't want Shady Sands to, you understand, many ears and all that.
Is this place secure?
It's secure enough. You got those runes up, didn't you? Sort of. We're probably secure. Right. We're probably secure.
Kagura face palms.
Ruru looks a bit uneasy as she thinks about what they came here for in the first place.
Okay. So, here's the thing. As you might have noticed, we're all humans. We were trying to fit in, but unfortunately, coming as all humans made us actually stand out. So, we are some spies for the royal government, so to speak.
You're looking for supplies?
No, we work for the government.
Oh,
They
okay.
said they're spies, Alex.
Sorry, I'm so distracted by this newsletter. It's just what?
But yeah, here's the thing. We have been hired by the royal guard to find out who the gentleman is.
And you came to us for help
Well,
when
The gentleman-
basically the entire town knows we're here.
the gentleman clearly showed some interest.
We don't know who he is.
Yes, but you were closer to him than anyone else has ever gotten. And you...
So just by virtue of him offering us, like, hey, you can just walk into the Colosseum and take a look for free, that counts as us being closer to him than anyone else.
Yes.
No one else was given a free handout by him.
Well, unless you're an ex-slave or some poor unfortunate. No, he tends to ignore those of us who have it decently off.
Okay. So what you're asking for us, from what I'm getting here, you want us to figure out who this guy is, like identity, race, that sort of thing.
Yes, see, no one has ever seen him. And those that have...
It's
Are
a
we
really
the-
guarded secret.
Yeah, though you might have seen the black bands around certain people's necks. Those are a sign of the gentleman.
Wait, black band?
Yes. It's a magic.
Just out of character, right quick. Was Creed wearing a band like that?
Creed? Let me just...
Out of character.
Yes, he was.
Corvus.
Corvus, yes.
Which Alex is like thinking, holy shit.
Ruru looks really uncomfortable with it, that she like crosses her arms over her chest and like takes a step back. This isn't a good idea.
I agree.
Keep
We'll
calm,
pay you,
Kuro,
of
keep
course.
calm.
All we're asking is, if you find this information out, anything you find out, we will pay you. Any clue we
Okay.
can find would be just... Hey, how much do we have? It's 5. Right. And she leans forward. So we can offer about 500 gold.
Okay.
If you can bring us just
So-
one piece of information that can help us figure out who this guy is.
So, what are you going to do with this information if we give it to you?
Take it to the government, of course. So the gentleman
And
can
what
be
they-
tried for his crimes.
And you're gonna risk our asses to do your job?
We've been doing it for months. It was just Kagura. It was just Your friend there, the Henken yokai with the red eyes. We know more about him. And we know is the one who trained him. And we know he is honest, and he looks pointedly towards Kagura, looking to change the world for the better.
Well, to it, Alex looks at him as well as like, seems like we need to open up a little more after this little chat.
Yeah, River starts to look a little bit uneasy at Kagura.
All are currently daydreaming about the archer guy.
Yeah.
I bet it's him.
Which I was like, yeah, okay.
A large swooning aside, and you do realize that even I can't make any guarantees.
I know.
There are probably people who've lived in this place their entire lives and haven't so much as even seen the gentleman.
I know,
And
we've been
you
here
expect-
for a few months now, 6, maybe more. He gives an honest look and simply says, all I ask is, if you find something, just bring it to us. Please.
One
We'll
quick
take it
question.
under advisement.
One quick question. Even if we do it or not, what makes you think that the gentleman doesn't know what you're doing? For all we know, he already knows what you're trying to do. He maybe even knows that this conversation is going on.
Well, if he knew, we'd be dead already.
Or he would have chased you off.
Or maybe he's,
Or planning on it to feed you false intel.
or maybe he's playing with you.
We're just trying to do our jobs.
River looks
know.
to the human. She goes, "What did he do? The gentleman that you want to trial him for?"
He runs. She gives a look and then just says, he runs a city built on crime.
So does Cleveland. You haven't done anything about him.
Whenever we manage to track down Cleaver, he goes to the Shady Sands and hides out there. With Shady Sands here, we can't do anything about the crime and...
I know.
What?
I know. I'm sorry I'm giving you a hard time. It's just
Remember
It's alright.
Remember what I said. Remember what I said, Alex. Alex, the royal this is the one place in all of Mayhem that the royal family has no authority.
yeah, and it's not like it's it's not like we know what it's like. It's maybe we can complain about them not doing anything all day long, but God knows how hard they have it.
River looks a bit upset by all this, and she kind of just like, I'm going. I can't handle this anymore.
It's
Yes,
fine,
you
Rura.
should-
Just
you
stay
should
close,
go.
alright?
Just promise me that if you find anything, any tiny scrap that might help us, you'll let us know.
Well,
All we want to do
Well-
is bring this land into a safer era where people don't have to worry about being robbed while walking down a street.
well,
River
well,
kind of glares at the person a little bit upset, and she goes, "There's crime everywhere. If you think you can solve something as simple as that by just relying on others and not doing your own actions, then you're going to get nowhere." And she kind of just walks out.
I'll see.
I'll tell you what. We'll see what we can do. All right.
That's all I ask.
No guarantees, but
Thank you.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank
If
you
I-
very much. And she brings her hands together, bowing her head in respect. E.
well, you have a good day now.
I should probably move my spots. Everyone, we're packing up. Yeah, we'll move to point B. We'll see. Can we move to C? It has that fish shop that sells really nice. Fine, C.
Alright.
Picky,
Well.
picky.
Alright, well.
You have a good day.
You all.
Night.
Yeah. You too. See you later.
She nods and says, bye. And you slowly all head back out of the building.
Alex just kind of leans against the wall and like just bangs his head against the wall and it's like, wonderful! Another mess.
I note that they already noticed about the time loop.
To which, yeah, he did. I didn't say I took it, but I'm just pulling this up for reference. Personal killers get make contact
the
with
land that time forgot.
Yep, the land that time forgot.
Out of character, I'm thinking of dinosaurs right now.
Yeah.
With that title.
Anyway, so yeah.
Land Before Time?
Yeah.
No, there's a show called The Land That Time Forgot.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So.
But, Alex does so many questions, just so many questions.
Yeah, Rira looks really upset too and confused, and she turns around and she goes, "I'm gonna go back to the inn."
You have
Have
technically.
we paid for the inn yet?
Let's just. I don't know what to do. I really don't.
I do. I'm doing the job we were asked to. I'm gonna go talk to my savior.
Well, at least it'll give us some coin.
It's true.
Let's just concentrate on one thing at a time, Alex.
Yeah.
Let's hope they don't end up dead by the morning. Then.
Alex will be the last to move out, as like he just watches everyone kind of move off first. To which, once everyone's out of sight, he pulls out his scroll and opens it up. Yora wa koriya nate horoyamasu.
Slowly.
Fiona is probably close enough to hear him say the start of that, because she would have been the last person to leave.
Okay. So, slowly, the familiar image forms in front of you.
And Alex he kind of looks like he's got this very sort of desperate look, like, I don't know what to do.
There's a long pause before finally Oro picks up the spear / time piece. What's it called? Pointer?
Needle.
Needle. Yes, needle, that's the word. And points the needle towards you as text begins to scroll. And it simply says, trust in yourself, and the stars will follow you.
Thank you. Alex slowly rolls the scroll back up and he puts it away and looks towards the inn and follows everyone. Though he's lagging behind, but, thinking, but he's following.
Alright. Back to the inn. And music. So, you enter the inn. And let me just move you back over to the door. Okay. So, what do you do?
I guess we should find that guy.
He said he would be in room 7.
River kind of stays quiet and just immediately marches over to the stairs to go up to the room.
Alright, give me a second to put him into a room. That's too far out.
Right.
Upstairs is just below you if you scroll your characters down.
But yeah, Alex follows Rura because he kind of now feels like this is something that he probably needs to see through.
Okay, so let me just boom, 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 boom. Stop moving, please. Here you go. Got everyone? Good. There you are. You're upstairs.
Right. So we head for room 7. Which one's room 7?
You don't know at first, but as you begin to make your way around, you see one door is open.
Hello.
As you say that, you see the gentleman is quietly putting Sven's hair into a plate. He's, threading it similar to how his hair is done. Ah, hello. You have returned.
Yeah.
Yeah, River kind of just walks around and sits at the other side of the bed and just plots down there and then leans her back against his and just stays quiet like that.
He glances over and then slowly wraps an arm around and says, "Rough day?"
Kinda.
River kind of just sighs and she just shakes her head a little. More people just spouting nonsense. Well, no, not nonsense. I guess they're just worried, but I don't trust their words.
Well, in the end, one can only trust their heart.
What did you say?
He glances up and he smiles. One can only trust their heart to tell them the truth.
You would consider yourself a good man, wouldn't you?
He sort of tilts his head with a sort of, and then he looks over and he says, "I do what I can." Certainly.
River kind of jolts at this, and then she kind of glares at Alex of course he's a good man.
I know.
Rura.
Then why are you
Don't worry,
asking?
my little bird.
I know, it's... I know the world's not black and white. It's not that easy. I know. It just... A lot's happened recently, and it's kind of really made me think a lot, that's all.
Well, think about what? He gives a curious smile.
I don't like the idea of a necessary evil, but looking at how Shady Sands is, I mean, we have very little interaction with the gentleman. We don't know what he does, other than the fact that he runs this town. A town full of people who are more than happy to try and steal from you if they could. But is he one of those people? Greater good or lesser evil sorts? Just...
Yeah, River kind of sighs and she goes, "The humans wanted to know, want us to find information about the gentleman. That's what they wanted."
That is what they're here for? Oh. He seems to be satisfied with that, and he smiles and he says, "Well, I suppose I should get your payment then." He reaches under the bed and pulls out a suitcase and opens it, and it's just filled with money.
Alright then.
Neatly stacked. He motions to it and he says, "I think you'll find it all in here."
Check to make sure it isn't fake.
It's all real.
River looks to Alex offended again that he would question.
Alex just at this point he's ignoring it. It's like, actually, before we finish this up, could I talk to you in private for a minute?
Of course. The gentleman finishes up Swen's hair and rises and says, "This room is for you. There should be enough beds, yes?"
Yeah, looks like it's enough.
Of course. I imagine my little bird will want to rest with me for the night.
Rua nods her head yes, looking a little tired and worn out, but also still upset.
He places a hand on her head and says, "Then we can talk more. But for now I should see what your friend with the charming smile has to say." And he nods and he says, "Follow me."
Alright.
He briefly looks towards Allah and he gives a soft smile and then chuckles and opens the door as he says, "Excuse me there, dear," and heads straight on through.
Alara has a different look in her face this time. She's full of thought as she just steps aside and just becomes silent.
So, is anyone attempting to listen in?
Would she? No, I don't think she would.
Attempt to what?
Listen in.
Kagura will.
Okay, roll a perception. And anyone else that is listening in. Now, the
I need to turn off advantage.
Okay.
Okay.
So, let me get back into voice. The gentleman is one that runs this town, yes. But it is you that I am more interested in at the moment.
How do you figure?
You are a warlock, are you not?
I am.
Your patron, is he the one that seeks the shining silver?
He could be.
I do recall seeing one of those pieces, actually, if that is of interest to you.
It might be.
He chuckles. You're a man of very neutral answers, aren't you?
I'm sorry, it's just... My mind's been all over the place the past few days.
Yes. Well, perhaps...
I don't mean to come off as standoffish, and I don't want to be rude to you. You're Rua's friend, and I don't want us to be enemies, is what I'm saying. It's just...
No. A friend of Rua is a friend of me. What's mine is yours. Or to an extent, of course. I'm not going to give you all my money.
I wouldn't even ask for it anyway. But, yeah, I wanted to ask you...
there is no offense taken.
I just wanted to ask you something about the people that we just told you about.
Yes?
I don't know what it is you're going to do, but please, don't hurt them.
He blinks and looks a bit puzzled at that. Why would I hurt them?
I don't know. I've got suspicions left and right about everything. I don't think you would hurt anyone. It's just try and make sure they don't get hurt. They're just trying to do some good for Mayhem.
I know. They're only trying to do their job and what they see is right. Most of the government types that come here do that. It's a shame. But it is their job. And in the end, it will catch up with them when someone catches wise. I merely wanted to know and make sure that they had no big plans, such as, well, summoning an eldritch horror, for example.
That certainly wouldn't be beneficial.
Yes.
You suspect someone is trying to summon something?
Oh, I suspect everyone is trying to summon something.
What, even me?
Yes. You were trying to help your patron, are you not? And he smirks a bit.
He's done a lot for my family. It's
Yes.
honestly the least I could do for him.
That is fair. And I don't fault you for it. You hear a soft poof from outside the room as it bursts into flames.
He's at it again.
Ah yes, your wizard friend. Dennis Merlin, was it? He's quite infamous.
Apparently. But yeah. That's all I wanted to talk to you about. I'm sorry. I know it sounds like I've been...
There is no offense. You're in the city of Shaded Sands. Suspicion is normal.
And you said you might have heard of something about the shards?
Yes, Three things for a moment. Ah yes, there was a dragonborn on the land that time forgot. He had one of those shards.
I ran into him.
Ah?
Yeah. He's a good friend of one of my companions. I found the shard and, well, yeah.
Really? And he leans forward with interest. What happened when you touched it?
Well, I don't really know how to explain it, honestly.
Well, is it possible to show me? I have a great interest in all things magical.
Alex just kind of like looks at him for a minute. It's like, you know, it's clearly like he is full on suspicious. Like he does not want to show him anything. But, you know, it's like keeping it safe, like, he's Rua's friend. It's like he's fine. He's probably fine. So he lifts up his hand, the one where that vein is, that mark on his arm is, and he summons Wanderlust.
The man, for what he says, does actually look genuinely curious, and as you summon the blade, his eyes widen with a mixture of awe and shock. Oh wow! So you're... Oh, that's amazing. I never thought I'd see one. He tilts his head left and right and he says, and then he lightly pokes it. Oh wow. I'm sorry, it's just I've never actually seen a patron weapon in the flesh.
Is warlock magic really that fascinating?
Oh yes, it's something that can't really be studied or written down. It's so different every time you look at it. Every patron is different. Every warlock is different.
Don't I know that for a fact? I've ran into enough crazy,
Yes, most of them are crazy. But you at least seem to have a good head on your body.
I don't know about that.
No? He tilts his head.
I mean, look at me. I have a perfectly comfortable life, just drawing maps and, doing what I love. My family doing what they love too, and, all of a sudden, all these people just come along and just everything changes. Not to say that I don't like being around them. I mean, if I'm being honest, they're probably the closest thing I've had to friends in years. But just life's just gone. I guess the word is it's gone pear-shaped.
He thinks for a moment and then he says, well, it tends to happen that when one has personality that attracts people. People get attracted. And you have one, just as I do.
I don't know about that. I mean, never mind. Anyway, sorry I've been.
You are very charming. You know that, yes? And he gives a soft smile, almost teasing.
Well, considering what I've been up to in the past few days, it's not that surprising.
What I'm saying is, it makes sense that people would gravitate towards you. They seek your guidance.
It's not because
Guidance?
Yes. Some people have trouble deciding. Yes, I'll wrap this up quickly. He rises and then says, "Now, I will be here tomorrow morning for at least a little while before I take off. I have business in a coastal city north."
Remember what I said about them, right?
I have no intentions of messing with them. I was just curious, and, well, a Lone Ranger approaching would be seen as suspicious. But adventurers, less so. Especially when one has the ability to sneak up undetected. That
Right.
laugh was out of character. I just laughed because that totally happened.
Yeah. Well, you have a good night now.
Same to you. Would you send Rura in?
Yeah, sure.
I dearly wish to spend time with her.
Yeah, sure. Considering what she's been through, she probably needs it.
He nods and he smiles and he says, "Take care of yourself."
Me too. And Alex opens the door and
basically walks right into a cat fight. Apparently,
it's like, "Oi!" To try and break him up.
Alex, help me convince Alar not to go out alone.
Ah, God. What is this about?
fuck if I know.
Alright, first up, Rura, you save you once you're in the room.
Rura nods, and then she slightly grabs Sven's hand, and she leads her into the room.
Alright, you want to go out on your own? Why?
Before we get to that, I'm just quickly gonna wrap up Rura's thing because she has to go. Okay?
Yeah. Alright.
Rura, as you enter, both you and Sven are pulled into a large hug as he simply says, "Ah, little bird, I miss you."
Okay. It's a little noise, and then she but then she smiles and she hugs him back. But she just smiles. She goes, "I missed your hugs.
Yes,
They always
and
brighten
I
up my
missed giving
day."
them. Even if it causes you to squeak.
Causes both of us weak, right, Sven?
She is just adorable. She reminds me so much of you when you were younger.
Oh, please don't say that.
You also had the habit of going bright red. And he smirks a bit.
Oh, please don't.
If I remember correctly, there was that one guy. What was his name?
No. Please save your stop. Why is it whenever I find you finally you tease me?
Alright. Let's just talk then.
River kind of still looks kind of embarrassed with the slight blush, but then she smiles and she goes, "Okay."
And alright. Thank you, Rura. You are free to go whenever. Back to Ella.
Woo! Alright, bye-bye. Good night, guys.
Night.
Night.
Good night. But yeah, picking up, Alex says, "You want to go out? Why?"
Because I wanted to see the Coliseum one more time.
Okay.
If you're going, you're not going alone.
Alar just pauses and takes a deep breath. Fine. I won't go alone, but who will even want to come with me?
I'll
It's just
go.
like... Alright, well, there you go.
Alar just like gives her a shocked look a little bit and looks down, just goes silent once more.
I've seen too many innocent lives being lost to the cruelties of the world. And that's all she says.
Alright, well, there you go. You got a chaperone.
Thank you. And she was trying to motion so she wants to walk out.
Grisura follows.
Alright, so we will get to what they do next session. We're just going to wrap up everyone else, okay?
Sure.
Because we are a bit over time.
Yeah.
So, Alex, Vienna,
Yeah.
and Kagura. You are the ones left, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Who's currently testing his paper crane to see if it works.
Yeah, and I walk up to Alex and just drag him over to somewhere where it looks like I guess I don't know. I guess we can just talk here. Hey, are you all right?
Why do you ask?
Hey, because you seem more and more exasperated with everything we have to deal with.
Well, you're not wrong. It's just... It feels like we've got a to-do list and everything just keeps piling up, you know? I don't mean to sound depressed or anything, Fiona. It's just... I mean, it's my first time out and about like this as a, quote-unquote adventurer. It's just... It's not a lifestyle I'm used to. Still, I appreciate you worrying.
It.
I appreciate you worrying about
Not
me.
sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I have a what, sorry?
I said you get used to it. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
That's true, I guess. But I appreciate you worrying about me. Thanks. I mean, I know my life is probably just a drop in the bucket compared to what you've probably seen, but still.
I'd probably like Vienna looks. Vienna remembers the thing she's seen, and like she gets very uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, Alex is referring more into, like, in terms of lifespan. Like, if she's clearly lived longer than he has.
Vienna wouldn't know that, though.
But yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Well,
thanks for checking up on me anyway.
I pat him on the shoulder. Who else was gonna do it?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think I'm just gonna head off to bed now.
Yeah.
You joining us, or?
Yeah, grab something to eat first, and sure.
Fair enough. See you in a minute. And Alex just straight on, like, hops onto the bed.
And Fiona heads down, grabs something from the bar, and then comes back and Akin gets on bed, goes to bed also.
All right. Kagra?
Kagura contemplates following Grisura and Alar. He looks to the room. He looks to the room, sees the others going to bed. Believes that the room will be secure. The room will indeed be secure, so he doesn't have to worry about them. He thinks about the other two that are out in the open, and this is probably the shadiest town he's ever seen. And he just sighs and says, "Guess I can stand and to stay up for at least a couple more minutes." And he follows them out.
All right. Last
Chaperoning the chaperone.
Last up. Was it'll take you a little bit to catch up to them, so we'll do that next session. Dennis.
What is the latest results of his paper crane attempt?
Roll me 5d20. It bursts into fire before it even takes off.
I knew it.
Sorry, buddy. You rolled a nat 1.
Did he at any point do this while on one of the beds?
I think he's currently sitting on the floor.
Was any damage done to the hotel?
Technically speaking, it'd be irrelevant.
Maybe a brief burn mark, but that's about it.
Assuming it didn't go up in big flames, then this part of the spell would have been sufficient.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, is that what you do?
Mm-hmm. And then I go to bed.
Alright. So, as you all head to bed, some of you heading out for one late night thing, a few of you quietly reuniting with a certain savior. A few of you going to sleep with the stress of so many people relying on you in your head. That is where we're ending it.
Hooray, no one died! That's success, right?
No.
What a session, huh?
If we do go through with that gladiator, I call dibs to be Grisura's tag partner.
Okay.
I second that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least get the heavy hitters together, because there's no blood way Alex would survive.
And I think Vienna knows how to heal.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
So, is there anything anyone wants to
Oh,
add
I can
before?
do way more than just heal.
I certainly like that little moment between Alex and Rura's savior.
Eleanor.
That was fun. Eleanor, yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anything
I like
else? Go on.
I like seeing the newspaper.
Yeah, newspaper's pretty cool.
That was actually kind of...
Brenna got mad when and he's like, "Why is this newspaper telling the bandits how to fight us?"
It's by criminals for criminals. Obviously, that
And they
like,
call
hey,
This
watch out for these.
like I'm just like, this seems like cheating. And also, I didn't get this shit while I was a pirate. Why should these guys?
You were too lost.
She was outraged on a professional level.
And I'm surprised it's called New Heroes Weekly instead of like the Gentleman's Quarterly. You know, New Heroes News kind of sounds like some of the good guys would print.
That's probably the point. It's like the totally illegal market thing. That's probably the point.
Are you talking about? They have a totally legit shopping center.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun session. I hope I didn't hog the spotlight too much because I know I did a lot of talking in this one.
Nah, you're good.
Talking is your job.
Well, yeah, still, but you know.
So, did you win? Oh, with that, I should probably wrap up the stream. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all for coming. See you next week. Bye bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Orphan lost, soul found. Nature's sister hoof calling. Fire, death, fighting freedom. Create, fail, repeat, succeed. Family darkest feeling deepest. Noble left to see the world. Map to find the key once lost. To save the many strengthened. Oh.